When you picture Nietzsche's Zarathustra, you probably think of some wild-eyed prophet shouting from a mountaintop, right? But that's not quite the whole story. Today, we're going to look at him through a completely different lens, as a new kind of hero on a very modern quest. He's not here to deliver a message from God. He's here to answer a revolutionary question about our purpose, right here on Earth. And really, this is the question that drives everything. It forces us to make a choice. Are we living for the promise of some otherworldly salvation later on? Or are we brave enough to find meaning in our messy, complicated terrestrial lives right now? This is the core conflict Zarathustra is designed to tackle head-on. So to really get what he's pushing back against, we have to talk about the classic deal with the devil, the Faustian Pact. The whole idea is that our life on Earth is just, well, a struggle to be endured, a kind of difficult waiting room that we trade in for a reward later. Keep this idea in your back pocket, because Zarathustra's entire journey is basically a full frontal assault on it. Okay, so who is this new hero? Well, for starters, he's not a prophet sent by a god. He's what you might call a modern Goethean hero, a figure who's driven by this powerful internal need to act, not by some command from on high. His whole quest kicks off for a pretty simple reason. He just has something he has to share. And this quote right here, it just nails his motivation. It's what's known as a sun-like imperative. See, after 10 years of solitude up on his mountain, his wisdom has become so immense, it's practically a burden. He's like the sun, which doesn't ask permission to shine, it just gives its light away. Zarathustra feels that same compulsion to descend and give away what he's learned. His journey starts from a place of overflowing generosity, not because someone told him to. But here's where it gets really interesting. His personal mission is immediately framed by something way, way bigger. A bit like in Goethe's Faust, Zarathustra's journey becomes the deciding factor in a cosmic wager over the entire future of humanity itself. The bet is between two massive, opposing cosmic forces. On one side, you've got the life-affirming spirit of becoming, which is all about growth and struggle. And on the other, you have the cynical, nihilistic spirit of contempt, which just mocks every human dream. Zarathustra, whether he knows it at first or not, is the guy on the ground whose actions will prove which one of these visions is actually right. Okay, let's break this down because this chart lays out the stakes perfectly. The spirit of becoming is described as restless and laughing. It sees our struggles as a noble act, a way of overcoming ourselves. It's bet that Zarathustra will inspire a new generation of creators. Then you've got the spirit of contempt, cold mocking, and seeing all our efforts as just a pathetic little show. Its prediction is that humanity will totally ignore Zarathustra's wisdom and choose cheap entertainment instead. This is the optimistic view right here. The spirit of becoming argues that our value isn't in what we are right now, but in our incredible potential to overcome ourselves and become something more. We are a transition, a courageous crossing over a great abyss. And here's the brutal counterpoint. The spirit of contempt looks at the exact same image, that rope over an abyss, and sees it as pathetic, weak, and totally doomed to fail. It's a vision of humanity as fundamentally stagnant and just not up to the challenge of real growth. So, with these cosmic stakes hanging in the balance, Zarathustra's journey officially begins. And his path isn't random at all. It actually follows the classic archetypal structure of the hero's journey, which is going to map his transformation from a hopeful, maybe a little naive prophet into a much wiser teacher. The path is pretty clear. First, he departs his solitary world. Then, he faces a series of trials. That's his initiation, in the chaos of the human world. And finally, from those trials, he'll return with a brand new, much sharper mission. It's basically a roadmap for his whole philosophical evolution. So, what kind of guy is he? Well, he's incredibly generous, driven by that sun-like need to give. He's humanistic. He chooses to engage with messy, flawed humanity rather than some distant, perfect god. He's also proud and wise, symbolized by his two companions, the eagle representing his soaring pride, and the serpent, his cunning wisdom. And maybe most importantly, he's compassionate and adaptive. He actually learns from his mistakes. And this brings us to his first major test. This is where the rubber meets the road. Zarathustra crosses the threshold from his quiet mountain solitude into a chaotic town, and it's in the marketplace that he truly faces his initiation. So he arrives, all fired up, ready to deliver this profound message about the Übermensch, this idea of self-overcoming.
And what happens? The crowd just laughs at him. They could not care less. They're all just waiting for a tightrope walker to perform.
And boom, just like that, the cosmic wager is in play. The spirit of contempt's cynical prediction comes true almost immediately. The crowd proves it would much rather have a spectacle than salvation, entertainment over enlightenment. For Zarathustra, it's a brutal first failure. This leads directly to the philosophical climax of the whole story. The tightrope walker, who is this perfect symbol of risky, courageous self-overcoming, is knocked off his rope by a jester and falls to the ground, dying right at Zarathustra's feet. Now this is the crucial moment. As the man is dying, he starts worrying about the devil and hell. That's the classic Faustian response, right? He's looking for some otherworldly meaning in his death. But Zarathustra shuts that down completely. He tells the man that his courage, his life of danger, that was its own reward. There is no devil and there is no hell. He honors the earthly struggle itself. And after the man dies, what does the crowd do? The same people who were so entertained just moments before? They just walk away. It's Zarathustra who actually shows compassion. He picks up the body to go bury it himself, taking responsibility and affirming the value of this man's life, even when everyone else is completely indifferent. This whole disaster in the marketplace, it's a crucible. It completely burns away his naive initial plan and forges a new, stronger, and much more focused purpose. His failure, it turns out, teaches him his most important lesson. And here it is. This is the core of his new philosophy. Meaning isn't some reward you get after you die. It's found in the struggle, the risk, the terrifying beauty of life itself. The tightrope walker's life had meaning, not because he was going to heaven, but because he dared to walk the rope in the first place. This completely reframes the whole event. The man didn't fail. His very act of being a bridge, that exact metaphor the spirit of becoming used for humanity, that was the success. His courage was the entire point. And that is a total, radical rejection of the Faustian pact. So Zarathustra learns a huge lesson. His message isn't for the crowd, for the herd that just wants a spectacle. The great wisdom he gains from his journey is that his mission isn't to save everyone. It's to find and inspire the few fellow creators who are willing to build new values right alongside him. And so Zarathustra sets off again, his mission refined and his purpose crystal clear. And he leaves us with this powerful, lingering challenge. It's a question that brings his philosophical quest directly into our own lives. If this is it, if there is no otherworldly reward waiting for us, then the responsibility falls entirely on our shoulders. So what meaning, what new values are truly worth creating, right here, right now, on Earth?